another interview series with small talk because I've always been a proponent of using small talk, create new relationships. I think it's the best form of marketing that a lot of people in 2024 aren't taking advantage of. Somebody who is taking advantage of, Nick, my guy right here. Not only is he an expert yapper, but he also ended up reaching out to me to start our relationship. Instagram, he's the type of guy, he saw something, created a conversation, told me he's open a venue, had a chance to be visiting this place over the past couple months, and he's doing an amazing job. So Nick, go ahead, tell the people a little bit about your background and leading you up to this venue ownership.
Yeah, so my name is Nick Galvan. I'm the owner here at Aero Cocktail Company in River Oaks, right behind River Oaks District. And yeah, I'm a third generation restaurateur, or bar-tier, and entrepreneur here in the city of Houston. So pretty cool stuff.
And so you come from a long line of the family having this business model in place, and something that you always repeat, because sometimes it can be a broken record, but you're talking about there always have to be a family member in the venue at all times, in the places you got a chance to learn these skill sets. Can you touch on that?
Yeah, so one thing that was always drilled in me when I was very young by my father and my grandmother was that, you know, you need to have someone who can tell the story of what's going on, someone to better explain what's going on in these four walls to the guests and create an experience for them and create something special for them. You know, no one's going to be a better advocate for what you're doing than you, in the, you know, in your family and having the people in here that can really help the guests have a greater experience.
And now you have this venue, and now you are getting a chance to have customers coming here all the time. Mm-hmm. How are you using small talk and your presence here to really generate that customer loyalty?
One, like you said, I'm a yapper. I don't shut up, to be honest with you. And you know, I just generally, I like talking about the business. I like talking to people. The best thing about this business is the people, is you know, having the clients come in, you know, and being able to talk to people about what you got going on. And they're always wanting to hear, you know, they walked in your door, they walked into your house, you know, let them in, you know. My staff is always pretty good about making sure I have time to do so. When we do open the doors, I tend to walk around with a cup of coffee, you know, throughout the night and just talk to people and just interact with them and see what brought them in and see, you know how we can get them back, you know, coming in some more.
Well, then when it comes to using small talk, I know you've been using it as a way to attract collaborators and partners. Like mm-hmm. I came in, had a chance to host a couple events here, one of them being Craft Clash, even Live Oak. They were a sponsor of it. We was able to come in, create a customized experience, and bring in other people who had a chance to lay eyes on the place for the first time. But now you have Kurt's Cauldron, they're a Halloween pop-up, they're taking over. Mm-hmm. And how are you using small talk to attract people like that and these event planners? And what are you doing that makes us want to come do business with you?
You know, I think, again, it has to be organic. First off, you can't quantify it. You know, if you're sitting there thinking, oh, I'm going to sit there and try to talk to this private event coordinator, yes, there is an end game, there is an end goal, but you're just generally trying to build a relationship. Ultimately, that's what this business is. It's a relationship. You know, that was drilled into me from a very young age too. You know, it's about, you're always in the, you know, people of business. You're always in the business of people, excuse me. And, you know, and I love generating relationships with these guys. I love being able to be the spot where they can bring friends to, where they can bring family members to, where they can bring business to, you know, and that's why you start off with that. Just generally and organically enjoying it. If something comes out of that, whether it be private events, whether it be a good business relationship, that's just icing on the cake. That's really what you want, you know, towards the end. You know?
And so how about this? My sister, she always says, John, your social battery, it just doesn't run out. And I didn't realize, like, I thought everybody could do it if they want to, but I guess some people aren't capable of doing it. No. So how do you get your staff to, you know what I'm saying, maybe replicate the same social battery, the same social strategies that you use to help drive business?
It's not easy. It's not easy, you know, and I wouldn't say I'm 100% successful at it. You know, it's not easy to get staff members and people who are initially strangers, to be honest with you, when they walk in the door, they are initially strangers. So to get them on board with what your message is and to get them on board with what your game plan is and get everyone on the same page. I think every operator, every manager, and every restaurant and bar in this country has that problem. You know, it's not a uncommon problem to try to get everyone on board. I mean, there's so much going on in everyone's day-to-day life, and it's so hard to tell someone, hey, when you walk through this door, turn that off and just try to sell what we're trying to sell, you know, so we can all go home, you know, happy. Ain't easy, but you know, we have a good little core group here that really, you know, really appreciate what we're trying to do here. They really believe in what we're trying to do here, you know, and all I can do is be appreciative of that and try to put those people in the right position to keep doing so.
And I know this place right here has had a chance to have a few different faces, and getting your staff to be on board with those changes, of course, is also an additional challenge with itself.
Yeah.
Making sure that, guess what? We got 15 new cocktails that we're rolling out tomorrow because this is the program we're running. But then even before that, as a business owner, we start businesses, and then once we get a chance to start talking to the community, seeing what they need, the business has changed. Can you touch on what this business concept, how you envisioned it serving the community versus what it is now?
Yeah, when we opened up on day one, my vision for this place was to be, a great little cocktail bar for River Oaks, and we still are that. But for example, we have TVs behind the bar now. Now, when I go to a bar, I tend not to sit there and watch TV. I sit there and talk to the people I'm there with. That's why I'm there, for the socialness aspect of it. I am in the minority. When we first opened up, we didn't have a TV behind the bar. Now we have a TV behind the bar. Why? Because we have residents who aren't always that. They want to come in on their own time. They want to watch a game. All right, that's fine. So now we have a TV behind the bar. We now have a pool table. We didn't have a pool table when we first opened up, and the reason for that was we just didn't have one. All of a sudden, then the community was going, hey, we like to have some darts. We like to have some kind of activity going on. What can we do? It's like, okay, cool. Let's bring a pool table in here.
You've had a chance to talk to the community, and after doing some time in Miami, getting a chance to talk to different startup businesses, I realized how exactly the same the journeys are from bar owner that it is to just somebody starting up a tech company. It's like you come in with an idea, you have your MVP, and after that you have to get off the ground with 2 or 3 people. And after that you gotta start finding people who believe in the product, believe in the process. Then after that, you need to go talk to your target audience, because now what you guys have been creating might not be exactly what they need, or it might be outdated. Now that everything's put together, what you have might not be exactly what they need. So with this, I see you've kind of been taking in that concept where you brought in the TVs, you brought in the pool table, and then now you have witches upstairs. So with this in mind, what are some of the changes you see you can predict into the future maybe? Or how are you making yourself more, flexible to these evolutions?
Yeah, so, with us, like you said, we have witches upstairs right now. Yeah. Legitimate witches.
Right now.
Literally right now. When we started off this bar, the upstairs space, about 1,000 square feet, was a tequila speakeasy, and that was my baby, right? It was kind of my go-to spot. It's now being changed to more of an event space, more of a blank canvas. And so right now, the girls who run Curse Cauldron, the witches who run Curse Cauldron,
Mrs. Witches.
The witches. I think they prefer to be called witches than girls. The witches who run Curse Cauldron, they saw that space for what it could be done for what they wanted, And now we're going to come back and do something as well for Christmas, for the Christmas time and New Year's. Again, they're seeing those 4 walls and going, what can we do here? And that actually is very inspiring to me, to be honest with you. So now I'm going, you know what? This upstairs does not need to be my vision. This upstairs needs to be a blank canvas, so we can give other event coordinators, people who want to come in and be creative, people who want to come in and execute, whatever it is, something. Give them that space where they can execute. And I think, that's the future for us, for the upstairs and for this whole bar in general, is give people a venue. Give people, yes, we stick to your guns, stick to what you do. We're not going to sit here and reinvent the wheel. We're not going to sit here and bring hope something that's not us in here. But at the same time, be flexible. Be flexible. The guests are going to tell you what they want, and again, stick to your guns. But at the same time, adhere to it, listen to it, and if it can work, and ultimately if it can make you money as well, then do it.
And that's one of the things I think that I've had a chance to now, interview so many different venue managers, venue owners, and that has been the end realization. A lot of times it takes a long time to get to that point.
Yeah.
Of you build this piece of real estate, and now, you expect it to be just crazy walk-in traffic, and it's not that. And then it's like, you know what, I need people who can at least bring in 20, 30 people for their own different reasons. Like, all right, what do you need? Yeah. And it's like, you want to bring 100 people, what do you need?
In Houston, there's almost 6 million people, if not over 6 million people now. And that's 6 million people that want to do something different every night, And to be honest with you, there's so many options out there. You can't open your doors, and we learned this the hard way. You can't just open your doors and assume people are just going to walk in. No, there's so much competition. There's so much noise out there. People are we're all trying to, hit the same, hit these 6 million people and try to get them in the door. And from a bird's eye view, it sounds like 6 million people. There's a lot to go around. Yeah, but Houston's pretty spread out. You can't get from Houston to Houston in an hour. And so, you have to go out there and really work on it and give people a reason to come back. Give people a reason to walk in the door initially. But now we're working on how do we get them back in the door. Everyone that we've had walk in the first 5 months we've been here, how do we get you back? Whether you be a resident, whether you be an event coordinator, Joe Schmo off the street, how do we get you back? And that's what our new approach is as we walk into 2025.
And ultimately, that's what my goal is, to come in, help not only with brand awareness, but really customer retention. Getting people in here, talking to them, seeing what they need, and then giving them even more than what other places can give them. Because I think a lot of times everybody's been trying to shortchange the transaction because they don't see it as a relationship versus like, no, I like you guys. I want you to succeed in life. How can we help you do that? Well, this is what it takes for us to do that. Otherwise, we need to go figure out how to feed ourselves.
Right. It goes back to the experience, which is an overused word, hella overused word, especially nowadays. But everything is so quantitative. Everything is so analytically driven nowadays. This is the town of Moneyball, with the Astros, winning all their stuff. And so we tend to, try to quantify the guest experience, and we tend to take out the humanity out of it. That's what we're doing nowadays. We're going, okay, well, this ambiance, people will love this. This cocktail hits a certain percentage of the demographic that we're trying to hit. We know it's going to land 70% of the time or whatever it is, and yada, 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 yada. That's just the way we are now. But go back to the humanity of it. Go back to the human kind of it. Give people an experience. How do you do that? You talk to them. You interact with them. What do they want to know? Tell them. I seriously, I walk around with a cup of coffee all night long and just talk to people. And that's the way I was taught how to do it. That's the way I'm going to keep doing it.
I remember one time we ended up having a conversation. I didn't know you did this too, but especially when I was moving and working in new neighborhoods where I'm dealing with a socioeconomic demographic I wasn't used to. Yeah. I would read the news. I would watch the news. I would go see what people were doing at the bar. Were they watching CNBC? Were they watching sports? And if I saw this is what the majority of them are doing, like, okay, I need to learn about this stuff so that way I'm ready to go.
Right.
Was that something that you found yourself doing as well?
Oh, absolutely. When I was a bartender at my dad's place, I would follow golf. I don't dislike golf, but I sure as hell don't follow it. But I would follow it just to keep up with the old guys. So that they would say, oh, did you see what so-and-so did yesterday? Oh, yeah, I saw that over the weekend. Yada, 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 yada. You need to know those things. You need just to build the conversation, and that's just customer retainage, But also, be generally interested in these guys as well. I will say, coming from working downtown for the majority of the past 10 years, now going to River Oaks, there's a little bit of a culture difference. The mentality is different over here than what it is 3 miles west. And so you have to adjust. You have to adapt. You have to know what's going on in River Oaks. You have to know what's important to these people. They are different than, the business and kind of touristy.
Touch on it. What do you think is the difference?
It's obviously it's more residential. Now downtown became a lot more residential 2015 and 2018, sure, than what it is now. But before that, it wasn't, and that culture is still there. Here, River Oaks has been a Houston suburb for 100 years. This is a residential area first. Yes, we have River Oaks District. Yes, even us, we have a commercial space here. But really, the commercial spaces that have been here for the last 100 years were to support the neighborhood. Instead of downtown where it was a business first and then residential came in. This is vice versa. So you have this residential area. You have a little bit of tourism coming off the Galleria. So you're having a little bit of a different deal. There's different goals here. People are coming out a little bit later, than what the side of downtown we were on. That downtown would die down at 10 p.m. Over here, there's been nights we start pumping up 9, 10 p.m. That's, people are coming off dinner, whatever it be. But there is a different culture here. And I think that when you go into a new space, read about it, learn about it, learn about what's here, what's there. You're going to have people that walk in the door and they're going to go, hey, I want a carton of cigarettes. Where do I go? Oh, I go right here. I'm craving something else that isn't here. I'm here, happy to be here, but I'm craving something that isn't here for later on in the week. Oh, you should go here. You should go see my friend over here. You should know what's around you.
I think as a bar guy, you need to be that directory of, of information.
Yeah.
Because people want to come in, where do I go get this, where do I go get that? And being that person is a great way to help drive relationship access.
You're the bartender at the end of the day. Whether you're the owner or not, you're the bartender. What's a bartender? A bartender is a therapist. He's a guide. He's the guy that's going to help you on your good days, your bad days. He's going to give you good advice, bad advice, a lot of bad advice. But you're the community. Especially where we're at. We're the only cocktail lounge in this area. You have to be the glue for a lot of different people of these community, and you have to, to push,
And I noticed even some of the people who work at the other venues in the space are starting to come here and use this as a home base, which is always a good sign.
Always
If the industry likes your place, that means, because they're the people who knows what a good place is more than anybody.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? An uneducated consumer or the casual consumer
Yeah,
can't go into a spot, you know what, they got their vodka soda, now they're going to catch a movie.
Exactly.
Industry person is coming in and is like, the spacing is weird,
Exactly.
lights off, volume is off.
Yeah,
That's before you even order a drink.
Approval from your peers, right?
Yeah.
And that is the biggest compliment that we can get here is, hey, people have been doing this for years, and say, hey, we like what you're, what you got going on here. We've had different owners of places that I've highly respect in the Houston area, highly respectable places that come in here just in the past 7 days who go, hey, I like what you're doing here. They've also, given some feedback and going, hey, you should probably look at this. This is what I didn't like, which is part of the game. It's part of the game. Yeah. It's constructive. Yeah. And I have no problem sitting across from an owner of a place that's been around for 20 years and sitting there going, well, what do you think? What am I missing? What am I blind to in my own four walls? And they go, well, this is what you're missing. It's like, oh, snap, and it's out of love.
Yeah.
It's all out of love. One thing about this industry that I love is that we all try to support each other. We really, really do. I can't say that for every industry. Some industries are more competitive than others, but we all sit here and try to really support each other.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we all know we've been in the trenches together. We're all trauma bonded together. But I love that. Before I leave, last question. Sure. You got one bar manager superpower, bar owner superpower, operations or marketing?
So lately, I would say marketing with the first 6 months. But honestly, I think operations is what wins out overall. It's like defenses win Super Bowls, right? Like talking about the old coach jargon. Yeah. And so, overall operations, I think wins you the marathon. And we all get into this business hoping for it to be a marathon. No one wants to be in and out in 18 months or less. We all want to get in this business and be around for 5 to 10 years and be a force for 5 to 10 years. No one wants to just come in and fade out. I think operations, being able to, know your numbers, being able to know your people and how to run your people and how to, really, build a good business. And that doesn't just account for, this industry, that counts for any industry. How do you build a good sounding, good solid business? If you're able to do that, then I think you're going to be able to run the marathon. Now, there's always lessons to be learned. There's always work to do. I can tell you in our first 6 weeks, there's a lot of work to do. Our first 6 months, there's a lot of work to do. Stuff that, is coming up now and stuff that, has been coming up since the beginning. They've been kind of been pushed aside in lieu of other things. But, yeah, we're not perfect, but we're always going to be striving to be.
Well, I'm pretty sure your parents and your family will be happy to hear the realization coming out of you. It's
Yeah,
like you just come in, just think everything was just put together already. You didn't realize we put this stuff together. And now you're starting to realize like, oh wow, I thought this stuff just happened automatically.
Yeah, you take it for granted.
I'm that person.
You take it for granted, and a lot of it looks easy until you get in the trenches of it and you go, oh yeah, no, there's a lot of legwork there that I didn't see, and now you got to put it in yourself, and it's humbling. It's humbling. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not, but hey, that's it. That's what we signed up for.
And you know what? These are the conversations I think are valuable across industry, whether you are startup, tech, founder, healthcare, just understanding just these business development stories, these business development lessons are really what the bar should always be about. So I'll be hosting an event here, Small Talk and Connect, where we'll be bringing in just the people within our network. Because as a bartender, I've always we're pairing people up with other people. But we are out of here, Small Talk. I'll see you guys later.